that was my first experience with O-Town. And now I'm on on the second chapter of my solo career, realizing I have no control over this, even though I've poured 3-4 years of my life into it. And that's why I was just like, I'm done. I'm done with the music industry. I've had 10 years of it. I want to explore. Again, it was always fitness, acting, and music for me. So Broadway was the perfect world that combined all of those things. You got to be athletic. You got to be in shape because you're doing 8 shows a week, and you need a music and acting. You need to be the triple threat. And I literally I'll never forget auditioning for Link Larkin, and they were like, will you cut your hair for this? And I was like, absolutely. And then it turned into 5 separate contracts. I almost 2 years in that show. And then from there, I ended up playing Fiyero in Wicked, the musical. And all in all, over 2,000 performances on Broadway, and in 2 of the biggest shows in Broadway musical history. And it was literally absolutely phenomenal to pivot out of that world into this new world, which was also a dream come true, to be honest.
Did you go like searching for Hairspray? You know what I mean? Or was it like you got a call, you got a job, and it was supposed to be, you know what I mean? Because, right, like Wicked, Hairspray, like there are worse productions to be associated with. Like, was it this conscious pivot because, you know, it was fitness and everything? Or was it just kind of like, it just all kind of worked out that way?
I got an agent really quickly when I was in O-Town because I wanted to keep leveling up. So I kept putting those feelers out there. And I got one of the best agents in Hollywood, and I ended up being at the Gersh agency. And so they would send me auditions that I was right for, and it came through them. It was a request. And I think the people that cast me had seen me on my show on MTV, and they thought this is actually a perfect Link Larkin. If you know Hairspray the musical, he's a teen breakout star on the Corny Collins show, which is basically just patterned after Dick Clark and American Bandstand. And in a way, that's kind of what Making the Band was. It was this new version in the world of boy band, but I was the young teen, you know, star on the show. And so it was like the perfect, it was like very meta. It was like a very, and then when Lance Bass from NSYNC came and played Corny Collins and I'm Link Larkin, then it was even more meta because now you have this worlds collide of NSYNC and O-Town, and in the world of Hairspray, and George Wendt from Cheers was in it at the time. And it was just, it was Tevin Campbell. It was just an absolute incredible cast at a time where there was literally, you couldn't even barely get tickets. It was standing room only. It was like a rock concert every night.
Are you shocked at how many people don't leave the music business? Because like what you're saying, like I know it, you know it, like most people in the business know it. There's lots of people that go on forever, but you know, like the people that are trying to squeeze out every drop, and like no shade, but do you know what I mean? Like, are you shocked that most people, because you just kind of hang on then, as opposed to reinventing themselves and now in fitness, which we're going to talk about in a second.
Do you know what the most addictive drug is?
It's fame. Yes. I say that on this podcast. I say that here all the time. No one believes me, but I 100% agree. 100.
Well, you are so right on. And
100%.
We're speaking the same language. And I do think it's hard when you achieve fame for a period of time. It can be very hard to let go of that. And I think that it's also a mindset of understanding what's going on within you, because you can very easily fall into that trap of chasing that forever. And it takes a lot of courage, honestly, and a lot of bravery to try something new. And I always say life is an experiment. I bring that mindset to my hair. I've tried every single hairstyle there is, but life in general is an experiment. I always say I want to try everything at least once. I think the more you experiment in life, the more you start figuring out, you know, your path. And you can't do that when you just stay stuck in the same thing forever. And that's so, you know, for me, Hairspray was like this pivotal moment where, you know, being the guy from the boy band that, you know, for instance, a lot of people considered was a manufactured situation because Making the Band was, I just felt like Hairspray was my moment to really prove myself outside of that. And at first it might have even been considered what they call like a stunt cast,
right?
Because I was obviously coming fresh from this MTV show. But when I got re-signed 5 times and I did the role for 2 years, and now I'm up for Wicked the musical as Fiyero and all these other things, it's like, oh, Ashley Parker Angel isn't just this pinup J14 and from, you know, Pop Star Magazine. He's actually a legitimate Broadway talent. And for me, that was very exciting to be able to achieve that.
I would agree. So before you move on to your fitness, when you say like fame is the most powerful drug, which I agree, you've been on 2 reality shows plus. I mean, what do you think? I mean, look at the reality genre today and like what it does. Now we have fame without really any skills, so to speak. I mean, lots of shows do have skills, but lots of them don't. And that's got to be even more addicting.
It's celebrity just based on, you know, celebrity and being on TV. Right. It's a lot of the shows, while they're very entertaining, there's not as many talent-based shows anymore, but it's spawned this unbelievable genre where it's turning people into celebrities. But you see that people don't become the huge stars anymore that they did. Like, I hate to say it, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I can't remember the most recent person that won The Voice. And I don't know if they ever had a single on the radio or not. Maybe if they did, I apologize, but it's almost just becoming this recycled, now it's the new season of the new TV drama, but it's not spawning a real career outside of that anymore. And it seems like the contestants tend to disappear. I don't know if you feel that way or not, but American Idol, year after year, as it went on, you start kind of like, you feel like these people are a little bit more pawns than they ever were before, where we're going to use you for the season and then we'll be on to the next season and you'll kind of be forgotten about pretty quickly is how it feels.
I say that on here all the time too. I mean, we know Carrie Underwood, you know, I'm a Broadway person, right. And my friend Constantine Maroulis, you know, right?
I love Constantine. He's great.
He's a very good friend of mine. Right. So we know Kelly Clarkson, but yes, I mean, I couldn't name you, and this is my business. I couldn't name you an American Idol or a Voice winner from the past. I don't even know. I would even say maybe 10 years if you paid me millions of dollars. So there you go.
That's what I mean. And it's like, and I just saw Constantine at Ryan Cabrera's wedding. We caught up. We have a lot in common because of Broadway and me living out in New York through the years. But that's the time in which I remember watching American Idol and being like, this is so, you know, and as it went on and on and on, it felt like they were disposable. And so I think we're kind of reaching that point now where it does feel like it's disposable.
I think so. So how did you go from Broadway to saying, like, you know, you were always into fitness, like, okay, this is going to be my full-time career?
Well, that pivot happened out of my solo career, but then into Hairspray, I realized that like I had to take care of myself like a peak performance athlete, because I'll tell you, having been a touring recording artist, a pop star from a boy band, and then doing more of a pop rock thing as the frontman of a band with my solo career, my hardest gig ever was Broadway, because you do 8 shows a week. There is a pressure to be, quite honestly, there's a pressure to be perfect. I mean, they're looking for flawless. I mean, you have, when you're on Broadway, the pressure is this will be a Broadway level performance, 8 shows a week. You start doing that for a year or longer, and you have to take care